Today, we will understand what is e-commerce duty and why it is news in the ongoing 14th Ministerial Conference of WTO at Cameroon. But before understanding this, first let's understand what is sun rising sector. A sector which is growing very fast in the recent time, and it is having a lot of potential for huge growth, employment generation, and accelerate the economy. Usually such sectors are called as sun rising sector. For example, semiconductor manufacturing in India, green hydrogen industry in India, drone manufacturing in India. So such sectors are basically called as sun rising sector in India. Okay. Now let's go back into the time, 1990s, internet. Maybe you are not aware, but there was a time when we do have a dial-up connection, which is 128 kbps. Through the phone line, we are going to connect that phone wire in the modem, which is inserted in our CPU, and through that we have started getting the internet connection. So 1990s was an era when this internet digital services was a sun rising sector, and if that sector will get a good potential to grow, it will definitely accelerate the trade and commerce worldwide. And this is properly taken in the cognizance by World Trade Organization. And hence, World Trade Organization in 1998 decided to have a moratorium on taxes on digital product, whether it is hardware or it is software, so that this sun rising sector can immensely help the world economy, export and import, trade and commerce among the countries. Means if any kind of a software or hardware from other country, for example, Windows operating system you want to purchase in India, and it is manufactured by Microsoft. So you have put an order, and the order value is 10,000 rupees. And it is being imported from the USA. Now, once it will reach to the India, Indian government can impose a excise duty, which in the name of e-commerce duty. But because the moratorium was set in 1998, now government of India cannot have a tax on it. It will come to the India without any tax. And as per this moratorium treaty of 1998, countries are not going to impose a tax. In this way, those countries like US, especially US, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, all these companies can sell their product worldwide without being taxed in the country, like the destination country, India. In this way, they can grow very fast, and in fact, they have grown very fast in past 26 years. So in this way, this is very beneficial for countries, especially developed countries, US and Western countries. And developing countries like India and other developing countries like China, South Africa and Brazil, they also want to access the technology, so they have supported. But this moratorium was not permanent, but at the same time, it is getting extended after every 2 years. So in this way, this moratorium, which is not permanent, but it is getting extended after every 2 years, it is providing a great leverage to these companies. Now, in this 14th Ministerial Conference of WTO, countries like India and South Africa, basically South Africa have put this proposal, and it is supported by India. The moratorium should be ended. There should not be a kind of no tax on these digital goods, because this industry is already have sunrised. It is not a sunrise, it is well growing sector, and there is a need to tax on it. But it is outrightly opposed by countries like USA, and specifically USA. Why? Because USA is getting properly benefited with this. And because these companies are not facing any tax in the countries like India, so they can easily establish monopoly Why? Because no local company can match their ability. If they will be taxed, then people in the developing country can compare the product which is homegrown and which is coming from outside. For example, Google Maps. So if you see the Google Maps, there is no alternative. Usually you will see Apple Maps, but they are again very costly. So we generally do not have a homegrown solution. Why? Because these companies are not able to grow in front of these giants. So in order to give a chance to the local companies to grow and having own digital sovereignty, countries like India, South Africa and other developing countries want to end this moratorium. Whereas US is very clear, if the moratorium will end, their ability to generate profit will decrease and they will face stiff competition with the homegrown companies, and that is why US in fact want a permanent moratorium on this digital product in terms of e-commerce duty. Now here one more aspect you have to understand. Both developed countries and developing countries use this issue not only a matter of taxation but also a matter of leverage. What leverage? Leverage here is with respect to appellate body of WTO, which is at present dysfunctional because of US. India want appellate body should be active, whereas US do not want appellate body to be active. Other case, India want more concessions in the public stocking of the food grains, where developed countries do not want it. So in this way, on these other issues where developed countries and developing countries are opposing each other, they use this e-commerce duty as a leverage against each other. For example, US want India should support the moratorium, and at the same time US will also give an assurance India that they will also not object on public stocking. So in this way, these issues are being used as a leverage against each other rather than to solve it. And this is why such issues are in continuance rather than finding an appropriate solution. I hope with this discussion you have understood what is sunrising sector, what is e-commerce duty, and why this e-commerce duty is again and again matter appears in ministerial conference at WTO. Thank you.